Hello, lovely people. I hope you're having a fantastic day wherever you are. It's Hila here at Saturday Night Stitch, and thank you so much for tuning into my sewing adventures. Today, I am so excited. I'm like a little eager beaver, super keen, super just bursting with a lot of joy because finally doing the last of the Burda 10 2020 number 120 sew along, which has taken me more than a year. So this has been a long, slow sewing project, the likes of which I have never done before. And so just gonna finish it off. This is the final part, and then I'm gonna do a separate reveal video where I get to show you the dress in all of its 50s beautiful gorgeousness glory. So thank you so much if you've hung out with me until this final tutorial video. And yeah, let's have some fun with it.
We're going to be starting off with the hem, and if you remember previously, we've already interfaced the vent itself. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to overlock the bottom of the hem on the overlocker. Once that's been done, I'm just going to press it just to get the overlocked edge to lie nice and flat. The next thing is going to use my gauge to actually turn up the hem. I'm using the gauge to make sure that I'm doing the turning up of the hem evenly across the hem. I'm going to use an iron as well to lightly press the hem so that I've got a light marking to see where it's going to go. There's going to be a lot of hand sewing eventually. Next step is I'm going to use my pins to pin down the hem all around after I've given it a very light pressing, and then we're going to start working on that kick pleat on that vent. So we'll turn it over right sides together so that we can sew up the ends of the vertical edge. So we've got the horizontal edge, which is the hem, and then there's the vertical edge over here, and the idea is that we're trying to get rid of the sight of any overlocked edges. And so once we've sewn it up and snipped the corner so that we can get a lovely turn over there, you can kind of see how we're step one into removing the sight of the overlocker, particularly if you're going to be seeing the skirt in action. We're going to press down the overlocked vertical edge so that we can then sew it using a very scant 1/4 inch allowance, and we're just going to sew it down, and then it will look so nice and neat. Importantly though, when you're sewing it down, when you get to the top of the hem, you need to stop because we're going to be doing hand sewing for the actual hem that runs horizontal. So as you can see, the kick pleat now looks very nice and neat because you can't see that overlocked edge. It will still work anyway with the overlocked edge, but I kind of wanted to finish this off with the same principles of taking the time to infuse as much couture-like ideals as is possible. So with the hem, the horizontal part of it, we're going to be turning under the overlocked edge. We need to do the same thing on the other side as well, and then it's time to set up for some hand sewing. And I could bang on about how wonderful hand sewing is and how it's a very important skill to have when you're sewing dresses, because hand sewing can save a multitude of dressmaking sins. And one of the key things to really excellent hand sewing principles is to use beeswax. If you've never liked hand sewing because the thread curls or it catches and you find that very frustrating, use beeswax, because what beeswax does is when you use a little bit of heat on a beeswax coated thread, it goes bone straight and there's no tangling or anything like that. It was such a game changer for me, so definitely do go and try that out. So using very small, neat and precise stitches, we are going to sew up that hem. Again, when I actually set out on this project more than a year ago, I had planned on fully lining this. So the skirt was cut in a way that it was going to be finished with a fully lined vent. But along the way, I decided that I wasn't going to line it. I'd be wearing it with a slip. So this is how I'm finishing the skirt without doing too many changes to what's already been there. I'm actually trying to start in the bottom corner, which involved a lot of fiddling around. But taking time and really paying attention pays off so well. By the time I finished sewing this, I just had this great, intense sense of satisfaction. So again, just using these very tiny, neat, precise stitches that will become barely visible once you're actually wearing the garment. And the idea is to start from the bottom of that kick plate and then going all the way round the bottom hem and then up the other side of the kick plate. Okay, now I'm gonna give it a final press. I'll also press it on this side as well. Now we can see what it looks like when it's completely hemmed now. And so that's the kick plate with the hem all done and pressed very lightly. And it just creates a much cleaner, nicer finish when you can't see those overlocked edges. So close, the dress is mostly done. Just need to work on the belt now. And the first thing is to just check and make sure, get an idea of where the fastenings are supposed to go on the belt to create a nice snug fit around the waist. From what I can tell, this design is supposed to sit at the natural waist, which is the narrowest part. So I just had to make sure that that was going to be fine. Using a lot of steam, I actually turned over the ends where the fasteners are supposed to go in preparation for hand sewing. I felt that hand sewing would give me much better control over the process of sewing at the ends of it. And by this point, it was just so much fun actually doing some hand sewing, and I really had to slow down and be mindful because I tend to make a lot more mistakes towards the end of a project because I get overexcited and giddy. I decided that I was going to use hook and eye fastenings for the closure. So those are the hook fastenings that I'm going to use. And I sewed those on, but I actually realized that I sewed them on the wrong way. I should have actually done them the other way around so that when I actually use the hook and eye, you can't actually see the hook and eye. So I basically had to flip them out. Where the eye is, the hook is supposed to be. So I fixed that off screen and that got sorted.
So yes, it's been done. Final thread has been snipped and I've done the final pressing. It's hanging up on the hanger, all ready to go. Got my tights ready, got the lipstick, got the perfume, got the hat, got everything. And so I'll see you next time in the reveal video. So do remember to subscribe, like if you enjoyed the video, found it entertaining, informative, and useful. And I really do appreciate that it supports the channel. It helps the algorithm know that this is a great sewing video, and then it will show it to other people who've got sewing interests as well, and then just grow the community. So thank you. I appreciate that very much. And until I see you next time, lovely people, happy sewing. Bye.